From the Detroit Free Press, it's Monday, April 26th. Here are today's top stories, presented by Bush's Fresh Food Market. Bush's has over 4,000 Michigan products, including the freshest fruit and vegetables, meat, seafood, and baked goods. Stop by one of Bush's 16 locations for the personal service you expect from your neighborhood grocer.
I'm Frank Witzel with the Detroit Free Press. The rare verdicts against a former police officer in the 3-count murder trial of George Floyd in Minnesota have prompted calls for police reforms from activists, state attorneys general, and even the President of the United States. What happens next depends on how Michiganders and Americans come together after a year of violent protests and an election in which many people seemed so politically far apart. But coming together is only part of the challenge. And while the verdict is in, some are still waiting for Derek Chauvin's sentencing. There have been so many deaths at the hands of police in America, and there is such a long history of racism that for some, sudden and sweeping changes, even if they are long overdue, seem out of reach. Last Monday, a 27-year-old man was killed in a shootout with Detroit police. Video suggested he was attempting to kill officers. The same day as the verdict, Detroit officers shot a man who was armed with a knife. Police said he stabbed an officer. And minutes before the verdicts, an officer in Columbus, Ohio, shot a 16-year-old. Police said the teen was wielding a knife and appeared to be putting another person's life at risk. A witness, however, had asked police, "Why did you shoot her?"
This is Phoebe Wall-Howard, an automotive reporter at the Detroit Free Press. Rory Gamble is UAW president today, not because he wanted the job, but because he was recruited into the position by a board of directors that knew the union was in big trouble in the middle of a corruption investigation and following a high-profile strike against General Motors. Former U.S. Attorney Matthew Schneider talks for the first time in an exclusive interview with the Detroit Free Press, discussing how decisions were made, what happened behind the scenes, and why the federal government chose not to take over the union, as happened with the Teamsters. You'll hear from GM CEO Mary Barra, Ford CEO Jim Farley, Executive Chairman Bill Ford, and Stellantis Mike Manley on what it's like to work with Gamble and what the future holds for the union. Go to freep.com for more.
This is J.C. Rindo for the Detroit Free Press. The first Goldfish Swim School opened in 2006 inside a former industrial air filter business in Birmingham. 15 years later, Goldfish is one of the fastest growing franchises to be headquartered in Metro Detroit. It has 114 locations in 30 states and Canada. Its direct competitors include Aquatots, British Swim School, and countless local YMCAs. The company is aiming to have 250 total locations by the end of 2024. Goldfish was founded by husband and wife Chris and Jenny McHouston, who were high school sweethearts at Birmingham Seaholm. Jenny also was a 2-time Olympic trials qualifier in swimming, and she at first handled all the swimming classes herself. Overall attendance at Goldfish has been down since COVID began, but it is gradually returning.
I'm Sloan Terranella with the Detroit Free Press. It's the perfect place to stargaze, and now the experience is about to be elevated. Keweenaw Mountain Lodge is in the process of becoming the first international dark sky park in Michigan's Upper Peninsula. The lodge is located at the tip of the UP, and the staff is finalizing their application to the International Dark Sky Association. The application process isn't easy. Events department lead for the resort, Mariah Summers, said there are a few requirements for this title. First, the property's lights need to be dark sky compliant. This means they need to be LED lights that are shielded and facing downwards, and this reduces light pollution. The lodge also has to do sky readings and host educational workshops like nighttime photography and stargazing parties. Summers said the resort could receive Dark Sky Park certification by summer. If everything goes according to plan, the Keweenaw Mountain Lodge would be the third international dark sky park in Michigan. The two others are the Dr. T.K. Lawless County Park in Vandalia and the Headlands Dark Sky Park in Mackinac City.
This is Andrew Hammond with the Free Press Sports Department. The Detroit Tigers wake up this Monday morning looking to avoid being swept by the Kansas City Royals when the two play the finale of their 4-game set this afternoon at Comerica Park at 1:10 p.m. The story of this 4-game series has been the lack of offense from Detroit. After a 4-0 loss on Sunday afternoon, the Tigers have now lost 9 out of their last 10 ball games. Despite the lack of offense and being on the verge of a sweep, Tigers third baseman Jeimer Candelario isn't ready to push the panic button just yet.
For us, it's been a little bit tough, but we come in every single day to work hard and get better. We know we got to make a lot of adjustments, every one of us, and we're going to continue working hard and do our best to win a ball game. That's all about. We got to make some pressure, and I know we're going to be all right.
For more stories from the Detroit Free Press, be sure to check out freep.com. That's FREEP.com. If you're a fan and want to support our quality local journalism, subscribe. Go to freep.com/special offer.